Jesus was forced to carry his cross to Golgotha, the place of the skull for his crucifixion, mocked and beaten. As he was led, he was weakened by the beatings he had endured, and the Roman soldiers compelled Simon of Cyrene, who was passing by, to help carry the cross. 2 criminals were crucified alongside Jesus. The other criminal, mentioned in Matthew chapter 27 verse 44 and Mark chapter 15 verse 32, is described as shaking his head and deriding Jesus, saying something akin to, "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." In Luke chapter 23 verse 39 to 43, one of the criminals rebukes the other for mocking Jesus and acknowledges their guilt, saying that they are receiving just punishment for their crimes. He then asks Jesus to remember him when he enters his kingdom. Jesus replies, "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." One of his last sayings. These interactions highlight different responses to Jesus during his crucifixion. The crucifixion was marked by various events, including Jesus' words of forgiveness. The last sayings of Jesus on the cross are often called the 7 last words. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke chapter 23 verse 34, "Woman, here is your son." To Mary, "Here is your mother." John chapter 19 verse 26 to 27, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew chapter 27 verse 46, Mark chapter 15 verse 34, "I am thirsty." John chapter 19 verse 28, "It is finished." John chapter 19 verse 30, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Luke chapter 23 verse 46. These sayings reflect Jesus' compassion, his fulfillment of Scripture, his human suffering, and his trust in God even in his final moments. After several hours, Jesus cried out and breathed his last. Following Jesus' crucifixion, the temple veil tore, and profound darkness descended. Most of the disciples were not present at the crucifixion of Jesus. Some accounts indicate that a few, such as John, were present at the foot of the cross. Others, including Peter, had fled in fear. The Gospels suggest that many of the disciples were in hiding after Jesus' arrest, fearing for their own safety. Mary, the mother of Jesus, and a few other women are noted to have been present at the crucifixion as well. This period of uncertainty represents the despair and hopelessness that often engulf our own lives. However, even in the darkest moments, God's plan was unfolding. After Jesus' death, Joseph of Arimathea boldly went to Pilate to request his body for burial, demonstrating his respect and devotion to him. Joseph of Arimathea was a wealthy man, a member of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish council, and a secret follower of Jesus who had not consented to the council's decision. He provided his own tomb for Jesus' burial after the crucifixion. He wrapped the body in linen and laid it in a new tomb, which was sealed with a large stone. This act fulfilled Old Testament prophecies regarding the Messiah's burial. The crucifixion of Jesus, along with the events surrounding his burial, is prophesied in several passages in the Old Testament and is fulfilled in the New Testament. Here are some key prophecies and the corresponding fulfillments. "Dogs have surrounded me. A band of evildoers has encompassed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. They look and stare at me. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots." In the New Testament, this prophecy is fulfilled during the crucifixion, as seen in John chapter 19 verse 23 to 24, where Roman soldiers cast lots for Jesus' clothing. "And they made his grave with the wicked, but with the rich at his death." This is fulfilled in Matthew chapter 27 verse 57 to 60, where Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy man, provides a tomb for Jesus' burial. Nicodemus, a Pharisee and a member of the Jewish ruling council, who visited Jesus at night and eventually became his follower. He is best known for his conversation with Jesus about being born again. He brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes to wrap Jesus' body, as required by Jewish burial customs. These prophecies and their fulfillments illustrate how the events of the New Testament align with the writings and predictions found in the Hebrew Scriptures. These events are central to the Christian belief in Jesus' sacrifice for humanity's sins and are commemorated during Holy Week, particularly on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Jesus willingly endured betrayal, torture, and the weight of the world's sin on his shoulders. His crucifixion was not only a brutal physical death but also the ultimate act of love, the perfect sacrifice that reconciled humanity with God. The crucifixion demonstrates Jesus' willingness to suffer and die on the cross as a means of bringing salvation and forgiveness to humanity. The crucifixion is seen as an act of atonement, where Jesus takes on the sins of the world to satisfy the justice of God. Through his death and resurrection, Jesus provides a way for humanity to be reconciled with God and experience spiritual transformation. The crucifixion reminds us of the immense suffering Jesus endured on our behalf. It invites us to reflect on the reality of human suffering and the compassion of Jesus towards those who are hurting. The crucifixion is not the end of the story. It is followed by the resurrection, which symbolizes Jesus' triumph over death and the assurance of everlasting life for believers. This offers hope and reassurance to those facing challenges and difficulties in life. Thanks for passing by. Please click the like and subscribe buttons as a way of showing appreciation for me as a content creator. The YouTube algorithm will be triggered, showing the video to more would-be viewers. By so doing, this channel will grow.